Gananam tva ganapatagum havamahe kavim kainam upamashravastamam jistaracham brahmam brahmas patana shrivanuti bishiri saranam Hi. This class is the fourth in a series of 4, all on Ajna chakra, also called the third eye, or what we're going to focus on today is how Ajna is sometimes translated as the command center. And what that means is being able to lift yourself to a broader perspective, where you're not weighed down by feelings, emotions, thoughts. So let's go ahead and jump into the practice, and I'll talk about some of those things a little bit more as we move along. So find a comfortable seat. All right, so here's some great things to always try as you're shifting to being more meditative. Have a sense of feeling like you're stable, grounded. Do you have a relationship to whatever you're sitting or lying upon? You can make your low body feel heavier. Even like you're pressing down into the ground a little bit more. And from this base, your spinal column emerges, lengthening upwards. If you like, you can put a hand on the top of your head and lengthen your spine up into your hand. You can also imagine golden light radiating out of the hand, making you feel more peaceful. Now shift to focusing on your breath for a few inhales and exhales. If it makes you feel more at ease, you can have those exhales be as noisy as you like, shrugging off any feelings or thoughts or distractions. Good, and then let's tune in by chanting Om Namo Guru Dev Namo 3 times. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Inhale, lift up on the pelvic floor. Bring the arms up into a big V shape. Curl your fingers into the palms of your hands and lengthen through your thumbs so that you feel a line of pull from the thumb tips all the way down to behind the center of your chest. And then start a powerful breath where the belly squeezes back towards the spine every time you exhale. We'll keep going for one more minute. Go ahead and press your tongue up into the roof of your mouth and have your eyes focus on the inside of your forehead, as though you could see a spot right in between your brows. Feel the breath filling you up with, you'll actually start to feel a little tingly, innervated from additional charged chi, prana in your body. And now as we inhale, we'll contain the energy, direct the energy by contracting the muscles of the pelvic floor. Feel your sits bones drawing together, perhaps it'll even lift you up in the air a bit. Your thumb tips are going to touch, so straighten your arms till they meet overhead. Keep those eyes looking as firmly up as you can, as though they could actually see your thumbs touching. And then when you need to breathe, relax. We'll just do some basic warm-ups. Go ahead and come onto your hands and knees. A little trick with doing down dog or any posture where you're weight bearing on your hands, you can, instead of having your hands, the fingers directly forward, you can slightly rotate them outwards, and that'll snug your shoulder blades onto your back. So try it out for yourself. See if you can get your shoulder blades a little more firmly around onto the back so that your chest is broader. We're gonna go slowly, a count of 3, 4, or 5 as you arch the spine, stretching the front of your body. Even at the peak of your stretch though, maintain a tiny bit of tautness across the low belly to make the low back safe. Then we're going to exhale and round again. Take 3 or 4 or 5 seconds to round. Contract the front side of the body as much as you can in order to stretch the back. Reverse. If you're doing this practice in the morning time and you're stiff, then you can keep going slower. If you're doing this when you're already warmed up, you can start going faster, and you could increase the range, reaching back towards a child's pose on the exhale. Make sure you're still rounding, and then inhaling, coming towards an up dog pose. Getting those shoulders around your back, going back and forth in whatever range is gonna get your spine the most limbered up for practice. Perfect, then come back to neutral. Keep your right hand on the floor. Slide your left hand through and keep reaching it as far away from you as you can. So we're going to get a nice rotation in our spine. You should keep twisting, maybe pushing your right hand into the floor so that you get more rotation across your upper back. If you feel like you could do this without putting pressure on your neck, you can raise your arm up towards the ceiling. Open your chest more. Good. Come back down, plant the hands. You want to do something in between before doing the other side. So you feel complete, do that. Then we'll go to the other side. coming up out of that. Go ahead and slide your legs through. We'll do forward bending and backward bending pose. So first we'll fold forward. Whenever you're doing a forward fold, you always check that your back could be in a neutral position before you start. So if you're feeling your back struggling, rounding backwards, you want to put height underneath your bottom. Part of the reason for that is that your hamstrings are vastly denser, stronger muscles than your low back. And that's the ones we want to target first. Keep your knees straight. Press the backs of your knees towards the floor. If flexing your feet helps you to do so, then flex your feet. Hold on wherever your arms naturally reach, and we're going to keep the spine straight for a bit. So really just trying to get stretch from the sits bones, reaching back all the way along the backs of the legs, and possibly even across the soles of the feet. You might pull your feet back towards you. Let's stay here with this nice triangular shape and do some breath of fire. Great, inhale. Lift up on the pelvic floor. Exhale, go ahead and let your spine round now. Elbows will drop towards the ground. So the legs are still going to stay perfectly straight. Backs of the knees pressing towards the floor, but your spine becomes a cooked noodle, just hanging down. Top of your head hanging so that the neck is also released. Anytime that you wish to stimulate the sixth chakra, the pituitary gland, you can hold on to your big toes and squish the toenail, the center of the toenail between your thumb and your fingers. If you're feeling any twinginess in your low back at all, then skip this last portion. The next time that you exhale, the spine is completely passive, the muscles of the back are passive, and you use the strength of the arms, pulling the elbows more towards the ground to see if you can get your head further down. Ease off of that when you inhale, and you can repeat it a couple of times if it's working for you. And I'm going to take our time coming out of this. So separate your hands, put them on the floor on either side of you, and roll yourself up. Have your focus be in your spine, like you're stacking the vertebra into perfect alignment, starting down at the base of your spine, working your way up. Pause for a second, staff pose. Good, over to your stomach. We're gonna do bow pose, and you can imagine that bow pose is like doing wheel, you know, like a full back bend, if you want to think of it in that way. So if you have a hard time reaching your ankles, then make your knees wider. The risk there is that you can put a little too much pressure on your low back, so just be cautious of that. Okay, all right, so you got each of your ankles, and no matter how wide your knees are apart, go ahead and tuck your pubic bone like you're pressing it towards the ground. Another way you'll feel that it's like your belly's lifting away from the floor a little bit, so protecting the low back. Have your big toes touch. You can even hook your toes into each other, big toes. And if it's possible to keep holding on and have your knees closer together, then scooch them together. So if you were doing a back bend, your shoulders would be lifting away. You want to pull your shoulders away from the floor. All right. We're going to straighten our legs, keep the back passive, and straighten the legs to lift yourself up. Ah, great. If you can, breath of fire. Great, inhale, squeeze the muscles of the pelvic floor. See if you can lift your feet higher towards the ceiling and then try and straighten them. Woo! And then lower down. Rest your head however it feels the most comfortable to rest it. Good, then place your hands underneath your shoulders. Push yourself back into child's pose. Actually, we're gonna set up for hare pose. So you wanna put your, the hairline, where your hairline used to be, on the floor as close towards your knees as you can comfortably come. Wrap your hands around the soles of your feet and then lift your bottom up in the air as high as it will go. Stretch across your shoulder blades, the tops of your shoulders, maybe even your triceps, your lats, and all along the spine. As you come up, you'll roll onto the top of your head, so it's kind of like a baby headstand. We'll go ahead and stay here for a minute. If you want to drop down and rest during that time, then you do it. Great, lower down, roll your spine up. So you will have rolled up to sitting on your heels. If that feels comfortable, stay right there. Fingertips come up to the shoulders. Just do a little twisting side to side. Your breath will start to regulate itself each time that you're deeply twisted. The air is going to be squeezed out. And then you'll inhale as you come through center. So you can start by inhaling left, exhaling right. And then switch it up and inhale right, exhale left. Your spine should be pretty warm, so if you can, each time you twist, see if you can get your elbows around a little bit further. Great, inhale to center it, lift up on Moband. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards your ears, relax them down. Squeeze up, relax down, squeeze up, relax down. Inhale and squeeze up. exhale, relax. Good. Do anything else that you need to feel limbered up, ready to practice. And then come down, relaxing on your back. When you are down on your back, ideally your spine and neck are nice and lined up. Sometimes it can be hard to tell the case, so you can plant your feet like bridge pose, roll yourself up all the way to your shoulder blades, and then just plant yourself back down. While your feet are still on the floor, you can push your feet like you're sliding them away from you, and that'll roll the shoulders a little bit broader open. And then take the legs down, take the palms face up alongside your body. Open and close your mouth a few times, releasing tension all through your face when you do it. Across your eyes, your forehead. Wonderful. And now as you're relaxing, I'll just talk you through a little guided relaxation. Put your attention on your toes and relax your toes. Relax all 10 toes. All your toes are completely relaxed. Relax your feet and ankles. Relax your feet and ankles. Your feet and ankles are completely relaxed. Relax your calves and lower legs. Relax the calves and lower legs. Your calves and lower legs are completely relaxed. Relax your knees. Relax your knees. Your knees are completely relaxed. Relax your thighs. Relax your thighs. Your thighs are completely relaxed. Relax your pelvis, reproductive organs. Relax your pelvis, reproductive organs. Your pelvis and your reproductive organs are completely relaxed. Relax your abdomen. Relax your abdomen. Your abdomen is completely relaxed. Relax all your internal organs, your intestines, your liver, your kidneys. Relax your internal organs. Your internal organs are completely relaxed. Relax your diaphragm. Relax your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is completely relaxed. Relax your chest. Relax your chest. Your chest is completely relaxed. Relax your back and spine. Relax your back and spine. Your back and spine are completely relaxed. Relax your thumbs and fingers. Relax your thumbs and fingers. Your thumbs and your fingers are completely relaxed. Relax your hands and wrists. Relax your hands and wrists. Your hands and wrists are completely relaxed. Relax your arms and elbows. Relax your arms and elbows. Your arms and elbows are completely relaxed. Relax the muscles of your neck and throat. Relax the muscles of your neck and throat. The muscles of your neck and throat are completely relaxed. Relax your face. Relax your face. Your face is completely relaxed. Your head and scalp are relaxed. Your head and scalp are relaxed. Your head and scalp are completely relaxed. Relax your brain. Relax your brain. Your brain is completely relaxed. Your entire body is completely relaxed. Your entire body is completely relaxed. Your entire body is completely relaxed. Feel yourself heavier and sinking into the ground. You're free from tension. You can see yourself from above, smiling down at your peaceful face. Good. And then wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe turn your head from side to side. Start to come back into awareness of your physical body. And rock along your spine or roll over to your side and come upright. And sit however you like to sit for doing pranayama. And as a reminder, it's best to have the sides of your legs, of your thighs, and your knees all the way down to the ground. If you're sitting in a chair, then just rest your hands on your knees. And we're going to start by putting our left hand in our right armpit. And you can just let the weight of your arm squish your hand into the side of your ribs. Close your right nostril with your thumb and start to breathe in and out of your left nostril. So we're moving to the pranayama practice. We're going to eventually be doing Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. And we're starting in this manner so that we can make sure that each of the air passageways, left and right nostrils, are open by putting this gentle pressure in the armpit. The opposite armpit of where you're breathing, that will help to open the opposite airway, the opposite nostril. And ideally you want to do this for a minute or more. Our breath's going to start to get a little bit heavier, moving towards an Ujjayi breath where you're slightly constricted in your throat. Go ahead and switch everything up. Right hand in the left armpit, get that little bit of pressure, and then close the left nostril in and out through the right. We're doing a couple of things in a row that very specifically work on balancing that fine line between introversion and extroversion. This is related to Ida and Pingala energy channels, to parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, and the flow of breath, the balanced flow of breath in the nostrils. We're going to stop now, but just remind yourself at what it feels like, that little bit of pressure along the sides of your ribs, because we're going to use that again later. Now we'll go to full Nadi Shodhana, and typically that's done with index and middle finger at your brow point, and then toggling the nostrils open and close with thumb and ring finger. So let's inhale through the left and exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Good. Establish your rhythm. For the first segment, we're going to try and have inhale, hold the breath in, and exhale be equal in length. So moving towards that holding the breath in, being just as long as the inhale, just as long as the exhale. That is wonderful. I'm going to start giving you additional things that you can layer on your practice. And I'll give them to you in order of importance. The next most important thing will be to visualize or have a sense of energy moving along with the breath as it goes in the nostril up to where the fingers are resting, right at the trigger spot for Ajna chakra, the brow spot. And then visualize or sense energy moving from the brow spot out the opposite nostril as you exhale. When your breath is held, have the eyes roll upwards, Shambhavi Mudra, like you can see those two fingers pressing at your brow spot. When you're holding the breath and gazing at Shambhavi Mudra, you can also lift up on Mulband and press the tongue up into the soft palate. The breath is a little raspy, a slight constriction in the throat. Ujjayi breath, it helps to stretch out the amount of time it takes for the breath to go in, the breath to go out. And for those of you who have practiced this technique with neck lock on the hold, then go ahead and incorporate that now. If you've not done that before, stick with the program as we're doing it up to this time. Really emphasizing your ability to have a sense of energy moving along with the breath, up or down through the nostrils, focused at the spot at the brow, Bhumadhya, where the fingers are pressing while the breath is held in. We'll keep going a couple more minutes, and possibly you've gotten your chest stretched out, you've gotten oxygenated bloodstream, so you can have all three parts of your breath stretched out even longer. And over time, if it feels comfortable, then the breath being held in becomes a little bit longer, becomes a few beats longer than it takes to breathe in, and a few beats longer than it takes to breathe out. Keep your focus a little bit longer, noticing the profound relaxation that comes as we balance the flow of energy in Ida and Pingala, as we balance the flow of breath between the two nostrils. And then you can stop the practice, relax your hand down, sit for a little bit, noticing how good it feels. And now we're going to move to a full body mudra, Vipareeta Karani Mudra. And we're doing it for two reasons. One, we're going to use it to help activate the third eye. And the other reason is that it also helps to balance the flow of Ida and Pingala. Balance the flow in the nadis so that we can get energy moving up Shushmana, or to a meditative state. So I'll show you how it's typically done, and then I'll show you the modification that we can try today. So you're going to want to be on your back. And typically you'd have your legs together, bring them up a little bit over your head, enough to get your hands under your hips. Oops. And then you put the nice meaty part of your palm underneath your hip and hold you up. Now the key to this looks a little bit like candlesticks pose, the inversion where your toes are right over your face, but we're not going to do that. In this posture, in order for it to work, your legs need to be straight up. And notice when you do that, you get a little bit of that same compression along the sides of your ribs, just like when we had our hands there. Get those legs straight up. All right, but that's really hard to do. So we're going to do a slightly different version. Go ahead and come down if you're up. We're going to use a prop to hold our hips up. And if you have a yoga block, that'll do. I'm going to use this blanket. You could use a real thick book. So it's a little bit easier to get into. Go ahead and take your legs straight up into the air. Put one finger in your belly button and put another finger directly behind your belly button on your spine. So that if you could be inside of your body and you dropped and you dropped a, I don't know, what's something good to drop, a little plumb line down from your belly button, it would hit exactly in your spine where their other fingers are touching. You can close your eyes. And when you inhale, feel the finger in your belly button and the finger in your spine spread away from each other. When you exhale, feel them try and get as close to each other as you can. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, come together. Now imagine that there's a tiny little passageway that moves between the two. And that when you inhale, the breath, the prana, moves from the belly button just almost to where your fingertips are, but right in the center of your spinal column. And when you exhale, the breath, the energy moves out that little tube to where your fingers are in your belly button. Inhale, breath draws in that nadi, that energy channel. Exhale out. While your fingers are here, they're going to create a way for you to memorize these spots. Especially try and memorize where that spot is in your spine. This is a purification technique. Purification techniques are called shuddhis. And this is also helping us develop some awareness of this particular spot of Manipur chakra. All right, great. Still keep your legs up there. And now put one finger kind of where your Adam's apple is, and then another finger along your spine directly behind it. Same thing. Inhale, feel like those two spots are slightly moving away from each other. Exhale, they move slightly towards each other. Inhale, breath, prana, life is being drawn to a tiny, tiny, short little tube from the front to a spot in your spine, just in front of your fingers. Exhale, and the energy moves out. Inhale in, exhale out. Allowing purification and also becoming keenly aware of where your fingertips are pressing behind your neck. All right, fantastic. So if you feel like you can hold yourself up on your hips, with your body higher in the air, feel free to do that. If you can't, then just put your hands in your armpits like we did before, creating that same sensation. And now we use a visualization that takes advantage of the spot in the spine behind the navel, the spot behind the Adam's apple in the spine, and the third eye spot, or if you have a sense of Ajna chakra in your head. The next time that you inhale, feel like there is a drop of warm honey that starts at that spot in your spine behind your navel, drips up your back to the spot in your throat, where it starts to cool down. Hold your breath as it cools and collects there. And then as you exhale, feel the power of your breath push it up to either the brow spot or to that spot in the center of your head, whichever one have an easier awareness of. And then take your attention right back down to the trigger point in your spine behind Manipur chakra. And inhale, feel that warm drip of nectar of honey come up to your throat. Collect there on the held breath. cooling, and then the strength of the breath, it goes out to the brow point or Ajna chakra in the center of your head. Continuing, focus comes immediately back to the spot and the spine behind the navel. Inhaling, feel the warm nectar drip to the throat where you hold your breath. Feel it cool. Exhale to the brow or to Ajna chakra, and then continue. And one more time. Great. Go ahead and bend your knees or lower your legs down. Slide whatever you're using to bolster yourself out from under you. Roll to your side and come up for seated meditation. If you're doing Vipareeta Karani Mudra on your own, ideally you build up your strength to be able to hold yourself up with your palms, maintaining that pressure in the armpits, and you can, over time, build up to doing 21 repetitions. All right, you can be in any comfortable pose here. We're gonna put the hands together and the thumbs are gonna touch right at the brow point, and the sides of your thumbs will just be right along the midline of your nose. You'll feel the sides of your fingers, of the index fingers along your forehead, but you'll feel the distinct pressure of your two thumb tips right at the brow spot. Simple, easy meditation. Inhale and feel like the breath is traveling from the tip of the nose up to where your thumbs are pressing. Exhale back down. Great. Keep going just like that. Start to use an Ujjayi breath, the raspy, auditory breath. And mentally overlay the sound of the breath with a chant, a mental chant that mirrors the sound of the breath. So on the inhale, you'll mentally chant so. And on the exhale, you'll mentally chant hum, so, hum. And this line from the tip of the nose to Brumaja at the center, at the eyebrow center, that mirrors the spinal column. You can feel as though you are drawing breath up and down the spine from the first chakra to the sixth. And that action is being mirrored by the nose tip. So don't actually think about your spine, just think about the nose tip, but know that it is mirroring that same action. So on the inhale, hum on the exhale. This meditation is fantastic for breaking you out of mental chatter, of cyclical thoughts, especially negative cyclical thoughts. Keep going with the practice. If you haven't already, go ahead and slide your tongue all the way up along the roof of the mouth to the soft palate, as far up and back along the roof of the mouth as you can go, and press upwards into the soft palate with as much pressure as you can muster. If you are an advanced practitioner and it's easy to do without disrupting yourself, go ahead and slide your heel into the perineum so you have this gentle pressure on the first chakra that mirrors the tip of the nose. And then we have the thumbs pressing at the brow spot. So for this last minute, simply doing whichever is the most effortless for you. Continue with the sense of prana moving from the nose tip to the brow spot, or the energy, the chi, moving from the first chakra to Ajna chakra in the center of the head. Back and forth, mentally overlaying the sound of the breath with so. Hum. Great inhale. Engage mole bond, lift up on the pelvic floor. If you're sitting on your heel, you'll really feel that. Exhale. All right, same final meditation that we did last week. I love it when people let me know things that worked or didn't work. Be more specific this time. You're going to actually look towards a like a light bulb light source, not just broad light. And we'll have our eyes closed and the head slightly down. The palms cover the eyes and the fingers lap over each other, covering the third eye spot. Inhale, separate the hands, the eyes open, and look upwards towards a light source. When you feel ready, close your eyes and cup the hands over the eyes again and look towards the actor image. For some people, a candle flame works the best. But candle flame meditation was developed before there was electric lights, so you may just want to take advantage of an electric light. Each time you can no longer see the after image, open your eyes again. When we were doing the Shuddhi techniques at the navel and at the throat, we would pull the energy through a tiny little channel, synchronizing it with the breath. If that feels inviting for you, the next time that you are closing your eyes, inhale and pull the light into the center of your head. Exhale, let it come back to the brow spot. If it's easy to keep that after image, you can keep your eyes closed. Inhale from the brow spot to the center of the head, pulling the light into the center of your head. Exhale from the center of your head back to the brow spot. And now go ahead and drop your hands back down to your lap, close your eyes. And have a sense of a command center, or maybe a way to think of it is a broad perspective center, either in the center of your head or at your eyebrow center. From this spot, feel like you descend down into a narrower sense of yourself, where all of your awareness is just in physical sensations. A stiffness in the shoulders, an achy knee, a sleeping foot. Maybe there's other pains or sensations. And notice how easy it is to have our full identity get immersed in the physical sensations, especially pain. Now draw yourself back up to your command center. You can still notice the physical sensations, and yet you realize that is not your identity. Have a sense of that light in your head, the center of your head, a tiny dot of light, or at your brow. And again, descend down from this broad perspective into your feelings, into your emotions. Who are you angry with? Who has done you wrong? Who do you need to tell something to? What are the feelings that get churned up when you watch the news? Immerse yourself in all of that turmoil. And now again, lift yourself up to the light in your head or at your brow. Feel yourself having a broader perspective still aware of all of the emotions, of the possibility of tumult, actually having empathy for yourself and the feelings that you might have, but viewing it all from a bigger perspective. And one last time, descend down into the ceaseless, ridiculous chatter of your mind. And notice how quickly and easily we can lose our identity and think this is all that we are. Ugh. Go ahead and draw yourself back up. Lift yourself up to the command center. You can gaze down at the chattering mind, perhaps again with empathy, valuing what all it provides, but again noticing that is not the limit of who we are. There is a subset of our society right now that believes in crazy ideas. And I think part of how that happens is getting stuck in our emotions or our thoughts and being unable to identify with the broader perspective. In this practice, we choose to battle out all the inner demons instead of externalizing and thinking all of the problems are outside of ourselves. The problems are internal. And when we can get this perspective, when we can move up to this higher plane, this higher realm, all of it looks a lot more manageable. Whenever you get overwhelmed, draw yourself back up to this perspective. Great. And let's go ahead and end practice by chanting Sat Nam 3 times. Long Sat, short Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for working out your demons on the inside instead of on the outside. See you next time. Namaste. Sat Nam.